I wanted to provide an update on enrollment. Tomorrow is our census date, meaning that's the day when we officially count the numbers and compare to past and previous years. As I foreshadowed last month, we are not where we wanted to be. The headcount numbers, which is a very imperfect measure of enrollment, but it's the one that we've historically reported for decades, will be down almost across the entire system. But it's very uneven if you look at things like first-time freshmen, graduate versus undergraduate, resident versus non-resident. So over these past several years, we've gotten much more analytical in how we look at those numbers and what they're telling us. So in addition to sort of the normal, these are the numbers and this is how much how every campus compares to last year, we're digging in pretty deeply to try to understand our successes and build on them, and the places where we're disappointed and what we have to do better in those areas. I'll just stop there. So Vice President Straney will be reporting on enrollment, I think at the November board meeting, and we'll have a pretty comprehensive view, not just focused on this report for this fall 2019, but also in the spirit of the Integrated Academic and Facilities Plan, looking at 6-year both targets and projections for across the system and in different categories. About 2 weeks ago, we had a pretty substantial briefing at the legislature, and I want to thank Dr. Amy Grace, who you met, who leads our You Healthy initiative, and she gave a presentation, I think last year. She's part of Vice President Sirmos's shop, and this is our initiative to really look at how the University of Hawaii system can help promote better health for all the people of Hawaii and the Pacific. The briefing was chaired by Maui's own Senator Roz Baker, who chairs the Senate Health Committee, and Representative John Mizuno, who chairs the House Health Committee. We had a packed house with overflowing spectators outside, 21 speakers locally and from the mainland, and we targeted our first part of You Healthy to look at workforce, because those challenges are much greater than the doctor shortage that you see in the paper all the time. And this was a really strong and comprehensive briefing looking at the entire healthcare workforce with a lot of really specific ideas about how we can all do better, including but not limited to the University of Hawaii. So more to come on that. Along the same lines, and I think this was in the paper this morning, I didn't get a chance to read it, but we got the formal announcement of a $6.5 million grant from the National Institutes for Health to our cancer center. And this is a construction grant. We're very excited. It matches the $6.5 million that was appropriated by the legislature, giving us a total of $13 million, which is enough to build out an early stage clinical trials facility in the so-called shell space at the cancer center. And the early stage clinical trials is really part of the dream of the Cancer Center to directly impact the health of people in Hawaii by bringing some of the very early stage advanced technology clinical trials to Hawaii, which up to now have only been available for generally people of means who have been able to travel to the mainland or who have really remarkable health insurance that is able to support those kinds of opportunities. And in particular, we think we can look at some of the cancers that are most prevalent in Hawaii. And again, I will emphasize that NIH supports us because of the diversity of Hawaii's population, and what they see across the country is that something like 90% of these trials tend to take place on Caucasians, and the trials have very differential effectiveness and impacts on people of different ethnic backgrounds. Along the lines of successful grants, I'll just say I got early email notification that just within the last, I think, 24 hours, the U.S. Department of Education announced their their current suite of grants for Native Hawaiian serving institutions. The University of Hawaii did extremely well. We got 15 different grants across the system, totaling just over $6 million. So those are all grants to advance Native Hawaiian education on all islands. We haven't yet digested which ones were awarded out of all the proposals we put in, but it does look like almost all of our campuses participated. And what was really interesting, we also had some collaborative proposals. UH West Oahu, in fact, was successful with 2 proposals that are collaborative with different community colleges. We also have community colleges working together on these projects, which is a really positive trend for all of us. In some of those, we help students in either unique curricula or curricula to move from community colleges to 4-year degrees. I'd also note that our colleagues at Chaminade, we partner with them on a number of activities. They also got two of these grants this time, and we like to get all the money ourselves, but it's also good to see others in the state stepping up as well, and they also have been good partners as we have with Kamehameha Schools. Kind of a small point about this, when I first came into this job, I resurrected something that I heard used to take place in the 1990s, which was occasional dinners with the presidents of the 4 universities in Hawaii. And we have one tomorrow hosted by the president of Brigham Young Hawaii. So it's a long drive up, but it'll be dry. It'll be okay. Finally, let me thank Vice President Young and congratulate him. We got formal notice, in spite of all of his doom and gloom, that Fitch, one of our rating agencies, affirmed our AA bond rating. This was a huge challenge, and I'm just going to read a sentence from their assessment of us, because I think it's useful for Regents to hear how a credit rating agency thinks of the University of Hawaii. That the AA rating reflects the University of Hawaii's role as the sole provider of public provider of post-secondary education in the state, the strong operating and capital support provided by the state, and an expectation that the university's financial profile will continue to moderately improve as enrollment steadies and it addresses a sizable capital improvement program. As Calbert noted, this was extremely challenging. Higher education is not a highly regarded sector right now. There has been increased scrutiny on our revenue trends, endowment levels, treatment of fringe benefit liabilities, financial statements, but he has been tireless in his work on educating them about us and how to look at the University of Hawaii in the context of higher education across the nation.